opened a house of learning. Now, he had many great students. There's one student I just want to tell you about because he is relatively well known. You know, it's like all things that are well known. If you've heard about it, it's well known. If you haven't, it's not well known. But the Maharal, he had a student by the name of Rabbi Yom Tov Lipman. Rabbi Yom Tov Lipman Heller. And he wrote a commentary on the Mishnah called the Tosfot Yom Tov. You know, one of the classic commentaries on the Mishnah, on the Shisha Sidra Mishnah, is the Tosfot Yom Tov. He was a Talmid, he was a student of the Maharal. He learned in the Maharal's Beit HaMidrash in Prague. Incidentally,
Tosfot Yom Tov was my great grandfather.
From the Mishpocha, okay. So he says that he's very interestingly, the reason, perhaps, I believe that why he wrote a commentary on the Mishnah is because in the Maharal's day, and we're going to speak about it a little bit later, one of his teachings, he felt that the study of Mishnah was being neglected. People wanted to go at an early age and just get into Talmud, get into Gemara. And they were neglecting the correct order. So he stressed it. And I have a feeling that he stressed it very much, and he encouraged his students to consider writing an explanation. He insisted, by the way, in all the areas that he was involved in, all the schools, that they revert back to the initial education system and not change the system, which is very interesting. We'll speak about that in a moment. He left Prague in 1564 and returned as Rabbi of Poznan. I remember that in Poznan, that's where he was born. Okay? His place of birth for 4 years. He returned to Prague. That shouldn't have been 20 years later. That's called bad mathematics. He actually, that's not correct. I don't know why I have that there. This is the correct one over here. This line shouldn't be there. He returned to Prague in 1587 and remained there for the rest of his life. He passed away. His life ended in the city of Prague. Now, this next to the Maharal over here, you see next to the Maharal a friendly character. Not the kind you want to meet in a dark alley in the middle of the night. That is a depiction of the well-known legend of the Golem of Prague. Now, the truth is that in the Maharal's writings itself, he doesn't mention, in the writings that we have of the Maharal, he doesn't mention this Golem and making the Golem. He doesn't mention. Whether it actually happened, whether it's fact or fiction, I have no idea. But it is he doesn't mention it in his writing, but it's a very well-known legend. The concept of a Golem is a concept. The concept basically is, and I just want to explain what the concept is and what reportedly he used it for. The concept of a golem is that it says when Hashem created man, what he did was he created man from the earth, and he breathed into him like a mold out of earth, and he breathed into him a breath of life. And therefore man became a living creature. The idea is that the Maharal used the Sefer Yetzirah, which is a Kabbalistic book of creation. He made a mold of a human being, a large human being, at least the picture says so, of a human being, a strong human being, and he invested that human being by using certain names of Hashem with powers and the ability to carry out certain tasks. It's reported, should I say, that the Maharal used to use this golem to fight anti-Semitism. When there were blood libels, in those days there were blood libels against the Jews, and they were plotting all kinds of ways of excuses for pogroms and it's well known, and this is an undisputable fact, that the Maharal was a great leader and a great fighter on behalf of the Jewish people in terms of relationships. By the way, he was summoned in front of the emperor. The Maharal had a hearing in front of the emperor, and he was close. He was respected by all the royalty of the day. I haven't been to Prague, but I'm told that my in-laws went once. They told me that you get little statues they sell little figurines or something of the Maharal to tourists, and so the legend has become very, very advanced. It says actually that what the Maharal, I'll show you in a moment here, I haven't been to the Maharal Shul. I know some have. This is the Maharal Shul here on the right. In the Shul, there's an attic. There's an attic. And the legend has it that the golem was placed to rest in the attic. It says that the Maharal every Erev Shabbos actually used, the golem also used to keep Shabbos. He used to tell the golem, use the name of Hashem, golem, go to sleep. So the golem used to shlof in the, he used to be in the shul, used to shlof in the attic. So there is the legend has it that there was another great rabbi by name of Rabbi Yecheskel Landau in Prague. He was the chief rabbi of Prague. He's commonly known by one of his books called the Noida B'Yehuda. The Noida B'Yehuda. The Noida B'Yehuda is a fantastic halachic work of tremendous, tremendous significance. I cannot even begin to explain the significance of the Noida B'Yehuda. The Noida B'Yehuda was a great sage, and the Noida B'Yehuda, it's reported that he went into the mikveh many times, and this and the other, and he went up and he saw the golem. He came down, he said, no one is ever to go in there, it's too dangerous. The legend has it that the staircase at the back of the building over there, which goes into the attic, you don't want to go up there. Okay? Now, do I believe it or not? I have no idea. Would I climb the stairs? No. Okay. Okay. Here you have the grave of the Maharal. By the way, he was buried right next to his life peril. Now, I didn't point out, but right at the beginning I mentioned that we know he passed away in 1609. The question is, was he born in 1612, 1616, or 1627? Either way, he was at least 81. He was between 81 and 98 when he passed away, somewhere in that range. But he lived, for those days, there was a long life. For those days, there were 81 to 90 is considered a long life. And that's where he lived. He was buried next to his partner, Peril, in the cemetery.